And now I'm glad to welcome our next speaker. He is really a veteran of game industry. He has been working for 10 years with independent development community, and now he's working with European developers publishing their games on Xbox and Windows platforms. Except work, he likes reading mangas, racing, and spending time with his lovely daughters. That's sweet. Please welcome our next speaker, Agostino Simonetta.
Okay, I'm on. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming to the presentation. It's a great day for me for many reasons. I'm here to talk to you about Xbox One and Windows 10. But on a personal level, it's actually a very exciting week because it's my first time in Russia. It's a long dream I had to come over. And Russia has such a strong background in the technical area and in game development that it's very, very important for us at Microsoft to be here today to talk to you about the opportunity that the Xbox and Windows 10 platform offer to you. So I already introduced myself, and today I want to talk to you about the Idea Xbox program, but a program that spans across the Xbox home console to all the Windows 10 devices. That's my name, that's my Twitter handle, and that's the Idea Xbox Twitter handle. We are all very, very, very busy people, but we are always committing to come back to developer as soon as we can. And if you ever have a problem, you ever want to reach out to us, ever have a question, send us a message on Twitter and I will respond immediately. A bit of background about myself. I've been in the video game industry for nearly 20 years, showing my age there. And for the last 10 years, in various different roles, I've been working with independent developers, publishing on helping developers publishing content across multiple platforms. In my role at Microsoft, I work on a daily basis with independent developers that want to bring their games successfully to the Windows platforms. You're going through a lot of presentation today and tomorrow, and a lot of information that you need to take in. If there is one information, only one you take away from my presentation today is actually that link. If you go to xbox.com/dev, there is a portal to gaming at Microsoft. And you will be able to access a lot of presentation, a lot of information, a lot of videos that will tell you a lot more than what I can tell you today about gaming at Microsoft. So write it down, take a picture, just go there and if you want any more information. But also, if you're interested in Idea Xbox program, that's the link where you go to then go and register your company for the program. So my agenda for today, I'm going to touch on Windows 10 and the universal Windows platform. Most of you, or some of you, might have been following what Microsoft we have been talking about since January this year. First, on our own Windows 10 event on the 21st of January, then a lot more at GDC, where we talked about our vision for gaming, Windows 10 and Xbox, and more recently at the end of April at our international event, Build. I'm going to talk to you about Idea Xbox across all our platforms, what the program is, what our goals are, and what it means for the development community and how we work with the development community. I want to talk about how you're going to be able to use the retail Xbox hardware to test your games for Windows 10 devices and Xbox, and how you can actually look at maximizing your performance across the ecosystem, what Windows 10 means for developer, and ultimately try to leave time for a Q&A. So we announced on the 21st of January, a lot more information about Windows 10. People knew we were working on it. And Windows 10 for us has been a long journey that started years ago. And this journey is taking us to one single operating system that will work across the full range of Windows devices. So it's an operating system that will run on phone, tablets, small tablets, large tablet, 2-in-1, classic laptop, desktop, all-in-ones, Surface Hub, the Xbox, HoloLens, and the Internet of Things. For the first time ever, a company is bringing to market an operating system that will run across the widest ranges of devices. From the home console the players have under their TV, to the phones they carry with them when they are going to the office or in everyday life, to the desktop and laptop they use in the office or they use at home to play games, and to HoloLens in the future. So it's a unique opportunity. And what is interesting from a development point of view is that one single platform, the Universal Windows platform, will enable developers with a single code base to deploy your game across all those different endpoints. Traditionally, we used to call Xbox a platform or desktop a platform. But all that has changed with Windows 10 coming to market, because today Windows 10 is our platform. And desktop, mobile, tablet, the Xbox are just different endpoints. They are still running the same operating system. So at GDC this year, we announced that the Idea Xbox program, a program that was announced in 2013 at Gamescom in August, as a program for Xbox, was actually extending to all the Windows 10 devices. So some of you, I know, in the room are already involved with the Idea Xbox program, but probably most of you are not. So I thought it would be a good idea to give you guys an overview of the program. And top line, Idea Xbox is a self-publishing program for independent developers that want to bring their content to Xbox One and now Windows 10, and I will explain more. Gives you guys full access to all the features of Xbox One, including the full Xbox Live network stack, Kinect, the full power of the Xbox. And now in a Windows 10 world, gives you access to Xbox Live network stack and API on all the Windows 10 devices. So when a developer registers and wants to bring their games to Xbox, we provide 2 dev kits for free. We bear the cost of the dev kits. And why are we doing that? Because when we started planning the Idea Xbox program, we clearly understood that we had to remove as many barriers as possible to allow as many people as possible to bring their ideas to the platform. And the first barrier you always face is actually dev kits. So all the teams that are part of Idea Xbox will get 2 dev kits at no charge. Visual Studio is required to develop on Xbox. Not all the studios actually have a license for Visual Studio. So we thought that we should actually take care and bundle the license for Visual Studio into the offer. And then Unity. We knew at that point in 2013 that Unity was the engine most developers were actually using. Most independent developers were basing their games on the Unity technology. And we decided that we shouldn't ask the developer to pay for the Unity license to bring their game to Xbox. We should take care of that. So we did a deal with the guys and with Unity, and we are taking care of that. And every time I mention this, people are always surprised. We tweet about this regularly. There are no fees required for certification, patching, updates, when you bring your title to Xbox. And every time we tweet about it, we get a fantastic reaction, but we thought we delivered that message quite clearly, but it's always worth restating. So what are our goals? The main goals is to enable teams of all sizes to bring new and exciting ideas and games on Xbox One and Windows 10. I already sort of gave my age away at the beginning when I said I've been working in the industry for 20 years. When I started in the industry, I was actually working for an independent developer of the time. What that meant, we were self-funding a title that we had no hope to get to market unless we found a publisher. The digital distribution, there was some instances, but it wasn't really a viable road to market. Everything has changed today. Something else that's changed as well is the tools like Unity or many other tools that you have access to are very low cost or free, and they're very, very easy to use. That meant a lot more people could get together and build teams and work on their creative ideas. So we wanted to make sure we set up the program to enable those people, they're completely new to the industry most of the time, to bring their content. And we wanted to foster innovation and experimentation. I always asked, so what's your role as a program? How do you guys select the titles? And I think our main role is to provide you a program that is viable, an ecosystem that is thriving, where you can be successful from a commercial, but also financial point of view. We need to provide the tools to enable you to develop a game as easily as it can possibly be. And that set you free and allow you guys to experiment and come up with the new ideas that nobody forecasted. I always say, who did predict Minecraft, right? One important thing for us is that we are pretty satisfied with where the program is today. There is still a lot of work to do, and we're never going to stop working on the program and how the program works. But important that we listen to developers, get your feedback, and understand that we can improve or change or adapt the program to make it a lot better for you guys. And we talked a lot about making it easy to develop a title, giving free dev kits and licenses and Unity. But it's also very important that we create an environment where developers can release their product and have as big a chance as possible to be commercially successful. We heard Wolf talking in the previous presentation about his challenge when he launched a product. We need to be focused on making sure that the ecosystem works not just to the point of finishing a product, but when you launch a product. If all of this happens, and it is happening, it's not perfect, nothing is ever perfect in life, but the result should be that we have a huge variety of cool games for Xbox 10 and Windows 10 platform for the players to enjoy. So where are we with the program? Lots of games launched so far on Xbox One, and we are focusing on Xbox One obviously now because Win 10 is not out yet. We have over 900 developers today with Xbox One dev kits in their hands. And we keep sending dev kits out as fast as we can, as rapidly as we can, to as many people as we can. Quite often we get asked the question is, I applied and I haven't got my dev kit yet. Now, one recommendation that we give to developers, there are thousands and thousands of developers that are applying for the program. What we recommend to you guys is always provide the best available information you have about yourself, about your company, your team, if you have a demo, if you have a link to a video. You would be surprised by the amount of developers or individuals that are applying to the program without a game. And we want to make sure the dev kits go to the people that need the dev kits as soon as possible. So we need to be very, very careful to send the dev kits out to the right people at the right time. And there are hundreds of games currently in development. The things I've learned over the years with independent development is you're never sure about release dates. So it's quite hard to predict how many titles are coming out on each individual month. But we have been pretty happy with the level of titles coming out that are not too many, but actually enough to satisfy the players' desire for new and innovative ideas. At the moment, we're working very, very hard to talk to the development community about Windows 10 and the opportunity that Universal Windows App Platform offers them to bring their games across the full range of devices. And this is very, very important. So much work, so much of our time goes into work that amplifies the marketing and promotional exposures of the titles that are coming to Xbox One. We want to make sure that we celebrate the games that are coming to the platform, that we support, we shout about them on our own social media channel, Major Nelson or Xbox Wire, the Idea Xbox website, but also that we take as many games as we can to show, like GDC, E3, Gamescom. Xbox is present industry events, consumer events across the globe, and there are always opportunity for title to be promoted. So the next slide, I want to talk to you guys about the ecosystem circa 2015, and that is sort of a caveat because Windows 10 is not out yet. There are a lot of moving parts, and some of the things are sort of ready, some of the other things are still in development, but it gives you an idea of what the opportunities for you will be this year and the immediate future. So I talked about Windows 10. I talked about how Windows 10 is coming to all of these devices, and HoloLens is there. I think most of you would have seen HoloLens. The only thing I'm saying about HoloLens today is that it's fantastic. And second, the Universal Windows platform will support HoloLens. So if you start developing a title using the platform, eventually will run on HoloLens. And the second note here, there are two Xbox there. I'm not announcing a new SKU, a new Xbox. It's just that we'll talk to you about the different way to bring your games to Xbox. So for the next few minutes, I want to focus on the right side of the slide. So phones, HoloLens, tablets, desktop PC. So all those devices are underpinned by the Universal Windows platform and will all run Windows 10. So what are the paths to market for you guys in a Windows 10 world? At the bottom, you have the traditional method of bringing a title out with a publisher, self-publishing on Steam, Humble, Desura, on your own website. The message there is that Windows was, is, and will always be an open platform. So you guys will be able to bring your games to Windows 10 the way you do today. What I can say that even if you're not working with Microsoft, you're not releasing the product on our store, Windows 10 is the best operating system we have ever delivered for gaming, with DirectX 12 coming. But if you want to bring your product to the Windows Store, working with us and with the Universal Windows platform, that will allow you with a single code base to go through all those devices. Now, you have three paths to bring your content to those devices. As usual, you can work with a publisher if you want. More and more indies are going back to working with publisher. That's up to you. Or you can release your product as a member of the Idea Xbox program. And the reason those two options are in green, because if you're working in one of those two options, you will be able to access Xbox Live features on all those devices. If you don't want to use Xbox Live, today you can totally self-release your product on the Windows Store 10, as you're doing, some of you are doing on Windows 8. Nothing has changed. And our vision is that in the next probably year, we're going to enable developers that are not part of Idea Xbox to use most of the features of Xbox Live. So we're going to open that up in the future. Now, all those devices are potential for you. It's a single code base. You can go wherever you want. We can't change the law of physics. So if you're doing a high-end PC game, you're not going to be able to release it on the phone. If you're doing a game on the phone that works with a mouse and keyboard, you will easily be able to release it on a desktop PC. The important message is down to you which device you target. It's down to you which control system you use. You are the publisher. We are giving you the tool, the platform, the store, and it's your decision where you go. And we are aiming to get you guys, when you submit your product, on the Windows 10 store in a very, very fast turnaround. Now, this is where I move to the next part of the slides. I bring Xbox back into the presentation. As I said, Windows 10 will run on Xbox. Xbox, the architecture of Xbox, means that it runs two operating systems at the same time. On one side of the Xbox, on the left side there, is the very optimized, gaming-focused operating system. On the right side, eventually, will be Windows 10. So on the left side, you use the traditional development method, you use DevKit, you get access to the full features of the Xbox One. On the other side, with Windows 10, you get access to a subset of the features, a subset of the CPU, of the RAM, but there are already games today running in that space. And what is great that you will be able to use the Universal Windows platform, one code base, deploy on all those devices, but also deploy on Xbox. So if you're working on a game that runs on a range of devices and is not power hungry, you will be able to deploy that build to Xbox One. If you realize that your product actually needs a lot more power, you will be able to get access to the dev kits and develop the game in the traditional fashion, developing on the dev kits. Now, one very important thing, that as a company, we made a commitment to console customers that the titles coming to Xbox will be of a certain quality, mostly from a QA point of view. We're not talking about gameplay. So we made a commitment that we're going to try to deliver the best possible games with the best possible quality. And it doesn't always happen. Sometimes there are problems, but we made that commitment. What that means, that in order to bring the universal Windows game you developed and deployed on those platforms, on Xbox, you will have to follow the standard Xbox process that we have today. It's very important for us, it's very important for the customer, but also it's very important for the developers to show their game in their best possible way. Console customers have different expectations than the other customers. And the reason is they spend money to buy dedicated gaming devices. Now, one question I was asked yesterday in a few interviews I did is like, oh, you're launching ID at Xbox in Russia. Truth is that we are not launching it today. The ID at Xbox has always been open in Russia. The problem is that as a team, we were not able until recently to really increase our efforts across Europe. So we already have a few Russian developers with dev kits. We had a developer who got the dev kits yesterday. They're part of the program. We just didn't have enough manpower. So when I joined 6 months ago, my role to go out and talk to developers across the European region to talk to them about ID at Xbox. And Russia and Eastern Europe was one of my key targets because the level of talent and innovation that we are seeing coming from the region is incredible. At the moment, unfortunately, it's on PC and mobile, but we want to see that in the living room as well. And then with Windows 10 opportunity, is really the right moment to do this. So, Xbox Live on Windows 10. So what does it mean? So for ID at Xbox developers, they will be able to access Xbox Live. And very, very important, you don't need to go on Xbox. You can just do a game on PC or just on mobile using Xbox Live. You get full access to the Xbox Live features. Same API to the Xbox Live that you know today. Common game callable UI for Xbox Live functionality, standard networking technologies. And for the players, what that means is a unified Xbox Live experience for all Windows devices. So same Xbox Live profile and social graph. What that means, my friends, they're not playing on Xbox, but they're playing on PC only, on mobile only. If they're playing a game that has Xbox Live, we're going to be able to chat, we're going to be able potentially to do a cross-play if the game supports it. So it's the same social graph, it's the same social network. And it enables very smooth cross-device multiplayer, and I will have a video later that talks about that. So let's say you decided to develop a game using the Universal Windows platform, and you decide that you don't need a dev kit because the game can totally run on the Windows 10 side of Xbox. How are you going to make sure that the game works fine? We announced at GDC that later on we're going to enable any retail Xbox One that you can go in a shop and buy to be used as a test kit for your application. So you're developing your game, you're deploying it on mobile phone, on your tablet, on your desktop, on your Surface, on your laptop, and you can use your retail Xbox One that you have on the telly to sideload the game and make sure that the game behaves as you would expect. First step is going to be to allow developers and beyond developers, students and homebrew developers and tinkerers to test and play around with it. And later on, we're going to enable Xbox One store to sell those products. So we're doing it a step at a time. And that's why at the beginning I talked about 2015 or thereabout, because there are a lot of moving parts. So there is a lot to take in, and I use this slide as a summary that hopefully helps visualizing all the different paths that as a developer you can take to bring your game to the Windows 10 operating system. So on this left side, you can have a classic Windows apps, let's call it game. And that blue box, what that means, that as you do today, you will launch your game on Steam, Desura, Humble Bundle, your website, wherever you want. Because Windows 10 will always be an open platform. But if you decide that you want to work with Microsoft and bring your product to our store, you can use the Universal Windows Apps solution and registering on the Dev Center. If you're not already registered on Dev Center, you can take your game to the Windows Store. Now, for the developers that are interested actually in using Xbox Live, then you can go to the link, xbox.com/dev, and register for ID at Xbox, so we can enable you access, give you guys access to Xbox Live functionality. And later on, you will be able to bring that game with Xbox Live, not just to the devices at the center, but also to Xbox One. But as many of you over the last couple of days have told me, you have games that require Xbox dev kits. So you can go register at ID at Xbox, provide as many information as you can about your product, and get access to the dev kits that you need to develop your game. So this is a summary of the presentation and your opportunities of Windows 10. So Windows 10, talking about maximizing an opportunity. So all those are a single platform. They are a single platform. They're just different form factors, different endpoints of a single platform. So there is a place for every game. If you're a mobile developer, a desktop PC developer, a tablet developer, a console developer, a developer that wants his title across the board, there is a path for all the games. So focus on designing for your devices. We are not telling you design for all the devices. Focus on the device you prefer. You have a vision for your product. Deliver the product for the platform you're envisioning it for. And you decide the specs. So we're not going to tell you your PC game requires to run on a phone. But don't ignore opportunistic devices. And what that means, if you're designing a game that works very, very well on a phone, but actually would work very, very well with a keyboard and mouse, or would work very, very well with a controller, don't leave that on the table, because there are revenues to be made, and the effort with the platform to take it to the different devices is very, very, very low. In business, very bad business term, your cost opportunity to expand the reach is very, very low. And everything you learn on any one of these devices, so if you're developing only on PC, most of what you've learned, because the platform is a single platform, will apply to the mobile platform, will apply to the Xbox. So everything you're learning on Windows 10 can be shared across a range of form factors. So before GDC, we gave a bunch of ID at Xbox developers that had title in development or finished access to the Windows 10 SDK and very, very early version of the Xbox Live SDK for Windows 10 devices. And we asked them to give us their feedback. And we actually took a bunch of games to GDC that were playable. And this is what they had to say.
I think the dream over the years for a lot of game developers is that we can actually release a game and engage multiple audiences. When Microsoft announced that they're going to actually support cross-play across all their devices, we've heard this before, and so I was a little bit skeptical. But then once we got our hands on Windows and the APIs and started to fool around with it, it was amazing to see that it really does work.
We work with custom technology. It's our own engine, and all the APIs and all the plugins, everything, it's pretty seamless.
I was sold on Windows 10 the moment we realized that you can actually copy text from anywhere in Windows and paste it into a command prompt. That's a miracle in and of itself.
From going to Xbox One to Windows 10, it's been amazing that I can just almost just switch the compiler to compile for Windows 10 and it works. It's a lot nicer than having to rewrite a majority of low-level code.
Crossplay for both Shears or Siegecraft Commander is huge because it's actually a game that plays really well across mouse and keyboard, gamepad, and even touchscreen. So what this does is allow us to give the game to everybody and for them to play, multiplayer with each other.
We've always wanted to allow players to buy a piece of content and play it wherever they are, whether it's on their phone, their Xbox One, or their PC.
A normal porting process, you would expect like 2 weeks to 4 weeks just to get it up and going. And I mean, just to say, hey, we had it up and running day one, and 24 hours later we had it on the store. That's pretty shocking.
Now we're thinking of it more like holistically. We're taking the PC player and the console player and thinking about them together.
Microsoft is the only company that's in that position to be able to do that because nobody else has a desktop kind of gaming platform and a gaming console platform.
It's a great time right now. It's exciting. It feels like something new is happening. So we're just grateful to be a part of it.
Unifying all these experiences is going to be really important in the gaming space. And the fact that they're recognizing that and bringing that back to PC is really important for developers like us.
If you're developing for console or you plan to develop for Xbox One, I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't want to develop for Windows 10 as well.
So there is just a selection of games that we are announced for Windows 10, probably more to be announced at some point very, very soon. And that was the feedback from the developer that had access to the SDK at that point. So if you want to try Windows 10, I totally encourage you to go and download the preview. It's available today. And if you are already an Idea Xbox developer, somebody here in the front, or you want to become an Idea Xbox developer, apply. The Xbox Live SDK for Windows 10 devices is available today. Just register to Idea Xbox, get the agreement, and we give you access to that. So the benefits: self-publishing on Xbox One, obviously. Use Xbox Live on Windows 10 platform today. As a platform, we see a lot of data, both on home console, on PC, on mobile, and we often meet with developers that are working with us to share the information we do have, and we're doing more and more of these events. And quite often independent developers that by nature develop one title every 4 years, maybe as Wolf mentioned in this first title, or every year, things change very rapidly, and developers ask us advice on the pricing, on the launch dates, which period of the year is don't go there. We are always happy to share our learning, and as I mentioned before, actually learn from you guys on how we can do better. And we are a large organization. We love developers, and both on game developers and non, and we have teams across the globe that work with developers. In the front row here, a colleague of mine, Roman, from the Russian DX team. The guys do a lot of work with independent developers that are bringing their games to Windows 10. And the important thing is, us at Idea Xbox and our colleagues here in Russia or everywhere, we work very, very closely to make sure that we support the developer as much as we can. And we have a constant working relationship on a daily basis where we talk about opportunity, developers. Sometimes they remind us that there is a developer who's waiting for the dev kits, or work with those guys in the local market because they're really, really helpful. And remember this URL. I tried to deliver a message today that, somehow complicated sometimes to deliver in a very short amount of time. There is so much more that you can learn about Xbox, Windows 10, and gaming in the Microsoft ecosystem. Xbox.com.dev. All the informations are available for you here. That's all for my presentation. I stayed within the time limit, and I guess I can open up to questions.
Thank you. Thank you. It was really a really interesting and useful talk, and I'm sure you have something to ask. Please show off your hands. Okay, where are you living? You can ask in Russian, and I will translate it for you.
We always say to the developer, ask questions, we're here, we try to answer all the questions.
Nikita Kolesnikov, Dynamic Pixels. I think you talk about gaming cross-platform. Does it possible to write some software that will work also on Xbox One and Windows on phone? Not games, but software. Programs.
Yeah, I don't actually deal with applications. So, the Universal Windows app is not just for games. So you can totally use that platform, which is the platform to bring content to the Windows Store and deliver it across the range. Xbox, I'm not too familiar with the app program. I mean, I refer you to Roman in general for apps. I don't deal with that. But we can, if you are keen to learn more, we can find the right person to talk to.
And about this question, one part, does things like viruses or other can also work across the...
Oh God, I'm not a technical question and person. The answer would be no. I mean, we do check when the content goes to the Windows Store. We're gonna do checks on what's in the executable. So we're gonna try to block that.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're not very keen on that.
Thank you for questions. Any more?
Okay, you said that it'll be very easy to publish your games or independent games. So, is it possible to that market will be overfull with content that will be not very good quality?
On open platform, you always find games game or content that are higher and lower quality. What we are seeing is that the market tends to decide what's good and what's bad. It's a long answer, would have to be a long answer. I think on Xbox we are seeing less traffic than we see on a Windows space or mobile tablet space in general. And on an Xbox in particular, the reason is that, it's easy to bring games to Xbox, very easy. We have, I always mention that, we have a couple of teams based in the UK. One is 2 guys, they do it in the spare time. They're releasing a game on Xbox very, very soon. That's been reviewed by IGN, Kotaku, everybody, and they are doing it in their spare time. And one of the 2 guys even has twin daughters, right? And we have another team, husband and wife. The first time they do it, they're bringing a great beat-em-up, side-scrolling game, an old classics style game to the platform very, very easily. But there are things that you need to do for console platform, like age ratings, that, sometimes developers are concerned about it. We try to offer the best possible environment, but on console, traditionally, you see less traffic. But, that's the nature of digital world. Yes. Digital world has completely changed the rule of how we do business. So there are a lot of challenges. Maybe next year we'll come and do a presentation on best practices for self-publishing the products.
That would be great.
I commit to that.
Thank you.
More question?
Okay. So if you have no more questions, and I have one, So please just share your thoughts on what inspires you the most, and give some advices to those who want to be successful in game development and in publishing their games on Xbox.
I mean, on my side, well, I've been here for a couple of days. We had an ID event yesterday, and what inspired me is actually the creativity that I've seen in those 2 days. You know, we have seen so many good games coming to digital platform, mobile or tablets and PC from Russian developers. It's our fault. The idea that Xbox has no more penetration in Russia, and it's something that we want to fix. And we're actively working on that. And I think by this time next year, when I come back to DevGam, we're going to have plenty of Russian developers with dev kits developing titles for Xbox or Windows 10 devices, with Xbox Live or without. Advice. Yeah, I'll give you an advice. Always reach out to people that work at platforms or publishers, or never be afraid of asking questions. You know, at platforms, we do handle thousands and thousands of individuals, like developers. I mentioned that, like 900 developers with dev kits. Reach out to us anyway, be persistent. In events like this, in presentation, ask the question you want to ask. Never be afraid to ask a tough question. And then on Twitter is always the fantastic tool where some Russian developers contacted me just before coming here. They wanted to show me their games. We looked at the game, and it's definitely now coming to Xbox One. Do that. And I'm going to quote an UK very well-known indie developer, which is Mike Bethel, the developer that did Thomas Was Alone. And Mike said that most of his success, or some of his success, is actually due to the fact he asked questions he didn't know he was not supposed to ask. When you ask a question, even if you think it's inappropriate, you might find out that people are more than happy to answer that question and help you out. And if you're asking the question to the wrong person might be able to point you in the right direction. You need to be brave to be an indie developer. Wolf gave us a fantastic overview of what it means. And if you're not brave, that will really undermine your efforts. So that's my recommendation. Be brave, ask questions you shouldn't ask, and you might get the answer you want. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you one more time. It was really cool. Do you know what is